Yes, so my point was about being an effective ambassador. So I want to say like all ambassadorship roles are about being a volunteer. So a volunteer is kind of like someone who really offers up their time, but for the good of serving or helping others. So your main job is to build community, obviously create impact within your community, and represent the mission that your ambassadorship holds. You can also add your own missions to that. So, like for example, Google likes I'm like almost like an ambassador for Google, and they value sharing content or content with or making knowledge easily accessible. So I do that, but I also try to bring the knowledge that I do have to other parts of the world. So that's like their mission, and then I'm combining what I value is important. So that's how you kind of view this role. So you take what you value as a person, and you take what they value, and you try to combine the two and showcase it in the best way possible. So these slides are like a playbook, just like some of the lessons that I have had. But basically, as I said, the role is not about a title. Obviously, you have the title, but it's just how you represent, welcome, and connect and create opportunities for others. So basically, you're looking after your community, you're valuing your community, and you're sharing with your community. That's, yeah, basically what the role is about. Okay, so the next slide is like, what does it mean to be an ambassador? So there's obviously a lot of different things, but if there's one thing to remember is that you are the face of the organization that you are an ambassador for. So you are the face for AI, guys, I'm very bad with names, for AI Eswatini. So you are the face of them, you represent them. Everybody's going to look at you and they're going to see them when they look at you. So one thing to remember is you'll be the face, voice, and energy of this community. So represent it in a very positive way, in a way that you will be proud of. So like, for example, speak about it positively, post about it positively, and make sure that what you say and what you do match each other. So you can't say you are really proud to be a part of this community, and then you go tell your friend that I really don't want to be a part of this community anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like what you say should be genuinely how you feel. Yeah. So, but basically what you should do as an ambassador is obviously represent your community professionally. So you interact with others politely, you follow any community guidelines. I don't know if you guys have community guidelines, but Google has a list of guidelines that we have to follow. We have to sign an NDA, or I'd say terms and conditions. So I don't know if you guys have that in place, but that's what we have in place in terms of representing the community professionally. So generally ambassadors, I'm not saying you have to change your personality, but you should be very welcoming. You must be happy to see your community. You must want to speak to them. You must want to engage with them. You must be, I would say, joyous in a way. You must want to grow the community. Growth looks different for everyone. So you need to define what growth means to you and what you're capable and what you have the capacity for. So, like, for example, for the Deaf Fest that I'm planning, I can only handle 200 attendees in the space that we have. I can't handle more. So growth is not going to look like numbers for me. It's going to look like the quality of the people that come to my event. So I'm hoping to grow in that aspect. I want them to be quality developers at my event. So we are trying to do that. We're trying to get the best speakers for my event. We're trying to reach out to seniors so that they would be able to speak at my event, which will attract seniors to come to my event. So we're working on different ways to have that growth. So growth can look differently depending on what you want to grow. And then obviously connect people to opportunities. So this is a big one. I would say it's really hard because you don't really know, you can't cater to everyone's need in your community, right? So everybody's got, they're all in different places, they're all in different mindsets. But what you can do is like pull together all the resources that you do have and the networks that you do have, so that even if maybe they don't use the opportunity, they can share it with someone that would be interested in the opportunity. So even if you share something that they don't necessarily use, they will know that they must share with others. So it's like if it's not for your community, it will still reach the people that it needs to reach, which is the idea. And then obviously build trust and bridge relationships. So depending what type of events you're going for, it's always good to have a really good relationship. So if you're doing virtual events, so like Robert, an example of this would be Robert messaged me and he said, Jess, would you be available? And the first thing I told him that is what I would have liked is please email me because I read my emails. So I'm a very busy person, so emails is the best way that I communicate. So he respected that boundary that I put in place and said, okay, I will email you the information that you have asked for. So it's just stuff like that. So like for virtual events and speakers, that works. Speakers always want to know everything about the event. So make sure that you share everything timelessly, that you share the graphics, that you're building trust. So especially if you've never worked with a speaker before, so you are trying to show them that you really want them at your event. And to show them that you really want them at your event, you show interest, you say, here are your graphics, here is your information. It gives them like a push and a nudge saying, oh, this person really wants me. They're putting in a lot of effort. So that's one. If it's in person, make sure to meet your partners or sponsors in person. I would say the best way to build trust is to give them a reason to trust you. So when you show that you are responsible, reliable, you respond to communication promptly, or if you can't, you say why you can't. Those are generally like the things that make people trust you or give them reason to trust you. And then when you show that, then you're building I would say, what you call a good reputation or a reputable reputation so that others would also want to work with you. So yeah, that's just a nutshell of what an ambassador does. But the image shows everything. But basically, if I could summarize it in 3 words, you have this bridge, right? You have your community, people, ideas, potential, all on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, you have your organization, mission, resources, opportunity, and you are the bridge. So you're trying to bridge the organizations, missions, and resources and opportunities with your community. So the best 3 words I could think of is bridge, advocate, catalyst. So a catalyst is someone, well, when I thought of catalyst, I thought of open to change or willing to change. Advocate, you advocate for others and you're trying to bring opportunities to others. So bridge, advocate, catalyst. But basically your mindset must be, instead of what AI Eswatini can do for you, it should be, how can I help others by being in this role, which is basically what it means to be an ambassador. Okay, and then I broke it up into the ambassadorship into 4 pillars. So you have advocate, which means you share things with others. So you share knowledge, you speak about your community online, you invite all your friends and family to come to your events, and you tell the community story. So every event you have, you post on social media, you explain what you did, you try and show the impact that you have, and then all the opportunities that you have, you also share through advocacy as well. And then we have the community builder. So obviously you welcome newcomers. So when I say community builder, it's not just about like welcoming the new people, but you also maintain the old people, not the old people, but you maintain your current community. So obviously you want to grow it, but you don't want to grow and then lose community members. So you want the growth to be sustainable. So that's what I mean by community builder. You obviously you encourage participation. You ask people to join your events. You ask them what they're interested in. You ask them what they're passionate about. You genuinely seem interested in what they're doing. If you had maybe like a launch, or like you had a startup come and you see that they were interested in the startup, or basically an event that leads to something. So sometimes we have what you call startup events, where we have founders come to our events and they've learned something, and then they said they're gonna build onto it. I don't even ask them, but I somehow look at the LinkedIn posts and saw how this event that I had impacted one of my community members, and they actually used what they learned. So it's always nice to maybe follow up on your community and see like if that topic really interested them, if they did anything with the knowledge that they learned, or did anything with the resources that you gave them. It's always nice to kind of, I would say, track it. It's very hard to do, but like it's nice to see what they can do with the things that you give them, because then you would always want to give them more, to see what more they can do with it. And then obviously keep conversations alive. So this is just an example, but I have a few community members where they met at one of my events, and now they can't stop talking to each other. And now they talk to each other all the time about technology and what they're building and what they're working on, and they haven't stopped. So that's kind of nice. So I would say encourage friendships to form, encourage group work, encourage supporting one another. That's how you build community. That's what community is. It's about having shared goals and shared vision, but also supporting those that are a part of the community. And then you're also an organizer. So an organizer means like you organize all the logistics of the events. So depending if it's workshops and study groups, if it's meetups and webinars, if it's hackathons and reading clubs, if it's any type of event, then you'll be organizing it. So I'll get further into like how you would go about organizing events. But basically, don't try, I would say don't try to go big, but I mean it with the best intentions, because I feel like start small and then scale. So like start with small events, then see if there's interest, and if there's not interest, learn to cultivate interest, and then you slowly build into bigger events and like workshops and study groups. And like even study groups can be very small, it doesn't have to be like huge, but I'm saying like start small and then scale. It always works best that way. Yeah. And then opportunity connectors. So you might not have access to all the scholarships, but Robert is someone that knows a lot of things. So for this, I would say Robert is your network. So ask Robert what scholarships are out there, what competitions, what like the Deep Learning Dub is taking place in August in Lagos. But ask him, when do they open applications for next year, so that you can encourage your community to apply next year. So like those type of things you kind of have to be, I would say, look out for. So it's like your brain must think, what is out there? What do we have access to? And then like hold on that, almost trend upwards on that. And then the same for like competitions. There are lots of global competitions out there, and the same with jobs and mentorship. So I can tell you right now that I would say almost all of tech jobs are not necessarily that people applied, but got referred by someone or met someone at some community, at some event, and that's how they got the job. And that's exactly how it happens sometimes, or most of the time. So that's just about teaching you how to network and look for those opportunities. Because unfortunately, applying the traditional way is not always, is not proving to be not sustainable. So communities have become, let's say, big in that aspect of the world. And then research and funding opportunities. So I mentioned the deep learning endowment. So when you get to the deep learning endowment, you have, I think there's lots of workshops, there's keynotes, there's booths, there's a lot of research opportunities. So that's one way. But you can also like get that from LinkedIn. Like Robert shares a lot of stuff. So I mean, like just what I do is I create like a almost like a notification. LinkedIn will tell me when Robert posts, and then I go read if it's anything that applies to me. Or WhatsApp groups usually work. So I have this group, this big group that I'm a part of, that's called scholarships, and literally people just post scholarships, just post any type of opportunity in that group. So it's another way of cultivating opportunities. But the whole idea of these pillars is that you put the community first and the technology second. So you are thinking of your community, what is going to work for them, what do you think will be useful for them. Basically, they are the focal point of your ambassadorship. And just remember, how enthusiastic you are is like how much impact you can have on the community. Yeah, so these 4 roles turn enthusiasm into community impact. Yeah. So this is the practical event playbook. So I'm just going to say, I would say the best advice I have is to go simple, because you can't go wrong with simple. The minute you go complicated, things just go a bit chaotic. So the reason why we say simple is because it's easier to map out what is important. So you would start with why. So why do you want to have this event? What is the content? Why is it useful for your audience? Do you think it will be useful for them? Do you think they're going to use it? So those are the things that you will think of with your why. So you will look at like what skill you're teaching them. Is it something that they can apply afterwards? Are they going to get networking from this event, or is it going to help them with a hackathon? So each event has like a different motivation or intention behind it. So for example, DevFest is about connecting to industry, connecting students to industry, connecting mid developers to industry, connecting senior developers with mid developers, with junior developers. It's just about connecting and networking. And then there is content as well. So we want to see that the people who receive our content will share about it or would try to do it themselves. That is like what our event, that's like what the intention is about the event. And then there's the other ones that I've done where it's like just technical information. So it's just the main goal is to get people to build on Google Cloud or to explore cloud or just to explore that specific tech stack. So then we have what you call cloud-focused events, where we focus on cloud. So it really depends what you want to do with the event. So you need to outline that so that you can do the rest of the plan. So start with why. So you outline everything in your why. I would say keep it simple, in the sense like match your capacity. So if you can only get one room for an hour, then just have one speaker do one topic, and then they have time for questions and they get the full hour. Just think of like that. If you maybe want to do, I would say, a workshop event, then you just have to think that you want a space where there's desks, where there's plug points for people to charge their devices. Like, think of a workshop setup. If you have access to one and you can use one, then yes, the workshop works. So yeah, so you kind of match what you want to do with what you have available or the resources that you have. Then number 3, you plan all the basics. So you look at obviously the objective, you look at like the audience, then you look at like venue, speakers, the agenda, so how you're going to structure your program. For us, we usually have a break in between speakers, and that's when we have pizza. But I mean, not everybody has access to that. You know what I mean? So it really just depends what you have access to. And then you look at, obviously, you want to advertise your event, so you focus on promotion. I would say go simple with that too. It doesn't have to be some fancy graphic. You can just do something very, very simple. I don't know if you guys have templates, but Sandy was one of the communities that I've worked with that has templates. So they give you templates for speaker posts and for like basic general graphics, which works well. And then it's always good to get feedback. So maybe just look at how you want to get feedback for that event. Number 4, create energy. So when you have an event, it's always good to have a welcome team if you're going to do in person. But if you're going to do online or virtual, then you think of ways to make the community feel welcome. So usually they do icebreakers, they do games, they do Kahoot for virtual, and then for like in person, it's good to have a welcoming team. So like, when someone walks in, you welcome them, you ask for their name. It just makes them feel like, oh, you're really happy to have me here. So just bring that energy. And then obviously at the event, you encourage networking. You encourage people to ask questions. So when you have Q&A, you make them feel welcome enough to ask questions, because you want them to ask questions. And like, if there's any future opportunities, so for example, we had an event at Synop 8 and they were hiring. So we gave them the floor for like 2 to 3 minutes as the host to say what they're hiring for and where they can find the job is on the website. And yeah, if you're really interested, please go to the website. So yeah, that's how we did one of our events with Synop 8. And then obviously number 5. So number 5, you thank everyone. So what I do is I thank the host with the email. I thank all the speakers with the email. I thank the attendees publicly by social media. It depends on how you guys, I don't know, feel about speaker gifts. We generally do them, but it's like, how to say, it's the capacity of the community. So I might not always do vouchers, but I'll do like just a box of coffee, something that's for them, something to just say thank you. But it's even if we just write them a thank you, that's more than enough. Trust me, I'm a speaker as well. And then a place for the community to find the photos. So what we should do is we have an album, a Google photo album. So everybody puts all the pictures into this album, and then we choose pictures from the album to do like our, how to say, social media thank yous. And then, so it's built into our platform that it gives you a post, like community form to like say, so it will say like, please rate this event. How do you think they did? Would you recommend GDG to someone? How likely are you, how likely are you going to recommend GDG events to other people. So that's built into our system. But I mean, you could build something like that. You don't need to make it fancy. You can just do a Google form, and then you just collect all the responses so that you can see what your community is saying. And then obviously you invite people to the next event. So after like following up and saying thank you, and then you can just say, we hope to see you at our next event. And then you publish your next event in time so that everyone sees it. So what our Bevy system, or what we call it Bevy, every time we have a new event, it sends an email to our whole database of community members, so they will know when we have a new event all the time. So then it just automatically invites you to sign up or RSVP for the event. But one thing I can say is that community is built between all these events, not only during them. So like you don't always have to do in-person events. So the way DevConf works is that they don't have in-person events for the whole year. They just have virtual events for the whole year. And then in May, they have this big, massive event. And everybody comes to this big, massive event. And it works out that everybody comes to this big, massive event. So I would say it's really up to you. Some people can't do events every month, and that's fine. It's just that our community is quite manageable in size, that we can do events every month. And we've had generous partners and sponsors that have given us space to be able to do that. But recently we haven't been having, I would say it's not as generous as it used to be. So we're exploring the concept of doing virtual and in person, or alternating between the two, so that we still have events, but if we can't find a venue, it's not a problem. We have a virtual event. It's just something to think about, or something we've thought about or are thinking about. But the main idea is simple events done consistently builds stronger communities. And consistency doesn't have to look like, I would say, all in-person events. It can look like in-person, virtual, 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 in-person. You're still connecting with the community, just in different forms. And then number 4. So obviously you want to grow your community, right? So the best way to grow your community is to tell your community story. So you would say how you became an AI ambassador. You would say who referred you. Like, you tell the story of how this came to be. You build partnerships and sponsorships. You build your partners. You cultivate those relationships, and you stay visible. So if not, so by visible, I mean like, so me and Robert have these events where sometimes we represent Zimbi at some of these events. So what we tend to do is we tend to show up in our gear. So, okay, I was lucky to get one t-shirt from Cleo, and that's how I have the one t-shirt. But basically, whenever I go to a Zindi event, I try to wear Zindi branded stuff. That's the nice way, well, one of the best ways to stay visible. But also, when you're posting about the event that you were at, you can say, as a AI Eswatini ambassador, I attended, and then tag them. It's also another way to stay visible. So basically, grow awareness. So you share all your success stories. Even if it's not a success story, you can also still share it. But basically, yeah, we'd like you to, should have said, share all your stories, basically. Celebrate members' achievements. So I don't know, we have this thing where we have a raffle, and whoever falls in the form gets a JetBrains voucher. So we do posts to celebrate that they get the JetBrains voucher, or we congratulate them for winning. But I mean, you can do something different. Like if anyone, I know Women Tech Makers has this thing where they spotlight, you submit your achievement and then they spotlight it in a newsletter. So you can do that as well. So yeah, but those are the two ways that I've seen people do it. And then you also can highlight your events. So at the moment, we're doing a paid event for GDG. So I'm trying to showcase, to highlight that event. And then, yeah, what we try to do is try to show why people should join. So we try to show the community part of the event. So I've been really strict with my team on this, that still graphics works for, like, when you just announce the event or you announce the speaker. But at the end of all of that, we do a video recap of the event. So we showcase people connecting, we showcase people, we showcase the speakers speaking, we show all the people in the venue, we do a setup, a sit down. So it's basically, we're showing the community part, or showing why they should join, which is kind of fun to do. And then obviously build partnerships. So I want to say don't fully go corporate, because your universities are always good to have in your have as a friend. So try and build partnerships with universities, schools. Government is also a good one. I would say, unfortunately, it doesn't work well in SA. But in other countries, it tends to work well. Like, people have the Department of Technology as a sponsor. Like in Kigali, they had that. Or like the Minister of Technology and digital transformation would like do a speech. So like, for example, the president was at the Google Cloud Summit that happened in Johannesburg. So then, like, for those things, then government is present for those things. NGOs are also good to work with. They might not necessarily, I would say, give you monetary value, but they could give you support, which is what every community needs. Yeah. So I would say definitely reach out to them as well. And then obviously, tech companies and startups are your best friend, because they love AI, and they will be the ones that would support you the most, I suppose. Innovation hubs and student clubs are also good to have, because what most likely is going to happen is they might invite you to speak at their events. So it's a good opportunity as well. But yeah, don't just think of corporate, think of it wider than corporate. And then obviously you help create pathways. So you help people move from attending to learning to hacking to contributing to leading. So what I mean by that is, you might have a community and you see maybe that one person is really good at hacking, and you put them into that situation where they can better that skill. Then they might go from hacking to actually be a hacker, to actually work for a company, to actually be a speaker at your event, to eventually saying they want to lead a hacking team or teach people how to into hackathons. So that's kind of like what you want to build with almost every person that's in your community. Depending on the interest and passion, it will take time because you still have to get to know your community. So yeah, that's the three: grow awareness, build partnerships, create pathways. And then visibility creates opportunities even when you are not presenting. So I might not always be speaking at events, but GDG is always visible. People are always looking us up. Our LinkedIn page has, I don't know how many people have viewed our page, but it's always there in the 100 people have viewed it, 200 people have viewed it. So yeah, that's what visibility kind of does. It keeps people interested, and then you find more people that are more interested. Okay, so becoming a high impact ambassador. Okay, so um, let me start with do more of this. So basically, what you should do more of is just be reliable, respond promptly, volunteer, celebrate others, share opportunities, and keep learning. What you shouldn't do is waiting to be told everything. So you're only going to know how to do things if you try things and you learn it, I would say, the hard way. But if you can ask someone like Robert, do you think this is going to work out? That works too. You know what I mean? Um, find expert, find an expert when you need one. And if you can find one, ask them everything. Um, what most people do is they attend the onboarding, and then it's almost like the onboarding is a bit too much, so then they disappear. So don't do that. If you need help, rather ask Robert, I need help. This is too much information. Can we go through this one step at a time? There's no harm in doing that. You are allowed to do that. And then I would say, obviously, the ambassadorship, there is a personal and the community side. I don't want to say only focus on the community and then leave your personal stuff behind, but try and find a balance between personal and community. So it must benefit you, obviously, in the best way possible, but it benefits you in the best way possible so that you can give your community the best things possible from your capacity. So focus on both sides. And then the last point, I think Robert knows this one very well, overcommitting and burning out. So I'm going to say this in the best way possible. Your health is your lifeline. If anything is compromising that, then you need to relook at it and say, do I have the capacity to do this? Yes or no? And make a decision right there, yes or no, if you're going to go on with it or you're going to remove it. So, yeah, try not to overcommit because you'll let people down. And that's why I said be reliable. So commit to things that you know you definitely can do, you definitely have the capacity to do. And then if something comes up that you had the capacity or thought you had the capacity, but now you don't have the capacity, then let the person know or let the community know or make a plan to, I just say, to kind of compromise on that. So like, I'm going to give an example. I can't be at my event that's happening the 8th of August, but I did everything for that event. I did all the admin. I did all the speaking with the host. I spoke with the speaker. I got the speaker to have a tipper approved. I did all of that admin because I can't be there on the event. And my team said, okay, in exchange for you not being here, you'll do the admin and make sure that everything's ready, and we will run the event for you. So that's like the compromise that we have on that. And then just one thing to state, the success formula. So the impact does not equal the number of events you have or the number of people that came to your event. So some people see high numbers or like KPIs and everything, and they think, oh, they really are impacting the community. Don't think of it like that. Like, don't think of it like that, because it's not like that. Impact is you speaking to the one person out of the 10 people that came to your event, and that one person felt loved or respected or felt important. That's what impact is. It's not 200 people coming to your event. Although that is nice, it's not the best way to measure impact. It's really hard to measure impact, I'm telling you that. But basically, impact is the people you helped, the skills that you developed, the communities that you strengthened, and any community or any opportunities that you've created by being there for the community. That's what impact is. And it's hard to track any of these things. It's hard to track the people that you've helped. It's hard to see what skills are being developed unless your community posts about it. And it's hard to see the opportunities that you have created. And you might not even see it after the event or 2 weeks after the event. You might only see it when the person comes back and says, I got the job because I attended your event that made me think of this. And that might only come like maybe a year later that you hear about it. So just keep that in mind. And then the final challenge. So Robert said I must ask you 3 questions. So I know Patubili said that she couldn't, she was having problems with her network. So I'm going to ask if you can maybe put that in the chat, and then we will ask everyone to answer these 3 questions. Okay, so the first question is, what unique strengths do I bring? So I'm going to answer all these questions for myself, and then I'll ask everyone to answer it in that order. So what unique strengths do I bring? So at the moment, I am highly organized. I'm honest. I said it in the best way because I think being honest means you see things for what they are and not what you want them to be. And in community, that's very important. So I feel like I'm honest and I am a team player. So meaning I can work with others, or I find ways to work well with other parties. What community challenge can I help solve? So at the moment, I don't necessarily want to have, I wouldn't say that I'm focusing on seniors, but we're trying to bring more seniors to the community so that the mid developers can become seniors and the juniors can become mids. So that's what we're trying to solve at the moment. And then what impact do I want people to remember me for? So I think at the moment that I thought of the community, I think I would want people to say, Jess really thought of the community, really thought about what they wanted, really tried to give opportunities to us, even if they didn't quite align, but she thought of every opportunity as important. So that's the impact that I really want to create. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with Vincent, and then, guys, I'm very bad at names. But Vincent, Nkosi, I'm just going to shorten it. I'm sorry, guys. Then we'll do some Kelo. And then we'll do Pandile, Novelo, and yeah, so we'll go Vincent, Vincent, Nkosi, Sam, Pandile, and Novelo, and then I think Patubile is gonna put it in the chat. Okay, we can go in that order. Okay, Vincent, you're up.
Vincent, can you try to unmute? Much better. You have your video up. Thank you, Vincent. I was about to ask for that, but well, you were, you're on mute. We can't hear you. Please unmute.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Jesse, for the wonderful presentation. It was so inspiring. It was so inspiring. I can attest to that. But before I answer the question, I'll acknowledge part of your points that you raised, which I think I'm still trailing behind because I recently joined Eswatini AI. I think I, for one, I also posted that I'm still at the initial stage, which is the advocacy part, where you said we need to share ideas, speak about AI, invite friends, and tell the community about it. I think I'm still at that level, and I'm hoping that I'm going to grow into being a community builder. So with regard to the questions you said, the first one is what? Okay, what was the first question?
Oh, so the first question is, what unique strengths do I bring?
Okay, I think even though I might seem to have copied some from you, I think I'm also a team player, and I am innovative, and I'm striving for the best. So that is what I can say about the unique strengths that I have, and I'm also a perfectionist. That's what some of my colleagues call me. Then when it comes to the second question, which is about what community challenges can I help solve? I think being in the education sector or being an educator in Eswatini, I think I can be. I'm trying to bring integration of AI into teaching and learning, to make teaching and learning to be enjoyable and simple to everybody, to teachers and the student. I can make an example of that. Recently, we had the challenge with the adoption of the new syllabus, which is the competency-based education syllabus in our country. So some of our teachers had a challenge with regard to adopting that syllabus. So I tried to be part of the team to try and simplify the syllabus so that it becomes easy for the teachers before they impart it to the student. So I can say that is what I can say. It's my unit. It's what I'm trying to build in the community. So I'm trying to make the teaching to be enjoyable, and to the students it should also be enjoyable, so that they could be in a position to learn better and teach better. So that's all that I can say pertaining to the two questions. Thank you so much, Jess.
Sure. I'm so proud that you guys I'm proud of your answer, because I feel like you really thought about it. So I can see the passion immediately from that answer, which I'm really excited about. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next person. Okay, I'm just gonna call names because they might not be in the same order that I called it. But Bandile, you can go next.
Okay. Good evening. First of all, thank you so much, Jessica, for this amazing presentation. I've learned a lot, and yeah, we really appreciate the effort that you put into this, and you've been breaking down each and every part of it. Thank you so much. So yeah, okay. Maybe to answer the first question, what unique strengths do I bring? Okay. So maybe to start with that one, for me, what I know about myself is that I'm a very curious person, and I really like to research. I really like to know more about things, and I am open-minded. So I think that's what I could say about that question that speaks to the unique strengths that I bring. So I feel like that on its own is a strength, and when mixed with other people who will share the same ambition, probably to achieve something, that could go a long way in terms of building and achieving those particular goals that we aim for. And then for the second question, what community challenge can I help solve? Okay, mostly for me, I think it's about AI literacy and the adoption of AI. So I feel like people are far behind, and what people, when someone thinks of AI, they probably think of just ChatGPT, and I feel like the community is yet to know a lot about AI, and I feel like that's a problem on its own if people do not know about these things. Yet the world has been moving towards that direction, and we are far behind if someone thinks of AI and just ChatGPT only, not the whole package that AI has to offer, and how it can also assist us in terms of our communities. So yeah, and then in terms of what impact do I want people to remember Fimo, to remember me for? Simple. It all comes back together to enabling the community. So I want people at some point to say, Eish, I'm happy that I met that guy because I got introduced to very interesting stuff that are also just helping them now do things much better and solving the actual problems that are coming from our communities. So yeah, I think that's it from me. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Wandile. I want to say I like that you said you're curious and you like research. I think that's a good idea. Well, it's a good way to show preparedness, which means you like being prepared. That's kind of how I see it. But it's a really good quality to have. I mean, yeah, it's an amazing quality to have. Okay, so the next person, Novelo. Can you please answer the 3 questions? Yeah.
Good evening once again, Tim. So to answer the first question, what unique strengths do I bring? I think I do things wholeheartedly. So once I'm in, I find myself being fully immersed in the thing. So I know you said something about you shouldn't overcommit, but I think I do that most of the time. So yeah, I do things wholeheartedly. I love quality. So paying attention to details. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I bring unity to the team. So then to answer the other question, what community challenge can I help solve? I because I think of myself as a people person. So I love agriculture. So in terms of the community challenges, looking back where I am from, so I have realized that agriculture agriculture is timeless. So the community challenge right now is definitely food security. So I'm passionate about agriculture. Perhaps since I am doing engineering, so creating better technologies to help the farmers, you know, produce more yield in terms of the crops or whatever they do, or perhaps the farming in terms of livestock or whatever. I think bringing new technology that would help increase the food security, their yield. I think I've been more happy to do that. And in terms of the impact I want people to remember me for is that um, I'm authentic and I genuinely care about people. So I just want people to remember me for touching their lives and for supporting them. So I believe that even before doing technology, you have to care for the people. So see what the people need and see how that could be improved. And then we implement technology that is not going to harm the people, technology that is going to make life easier for the people. So touching lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Novelo. I really love that you're passionate. I know you mentioned the overcommitting. I think low-key we all do. We just have to maybe have a fine line that we don't burn out and we don't that nothing bad happen, like it doesn't cause us too much ill. But I would say overcommitting in a good way is probably the backbone of community, being passionate. And I know that you are thinking of society as well. Technology should be that society can use it. And yeah, it's nice to meet someone that's building for the community or thinking of the community in mind. Okay, the last person is Sam Samkelo. So the floor is yours.
Hi, Jess. How are you, everyone? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, cool. On the strengths that I bring, well, I think the first strength or one thing about me is that I am a problem solver. It doesn't matter as to whether the problem is within tech or operations. What I can say with confidence that whatever problem that may stand, I will solve it, you know. And then the other part with me is that I am curious and I do my due diligence in whatever I do. I do make sure that I am conducted thorough due diligence. Then the the other part about me is that I'm a very active person. It doesn't matter as to what the projects that you are doing, but if I feel like that project that you are doing might give impact, I will try in as much as possible to get involved and apply my abilities to or as best as I can. So I think those are strengths that I bring towards this community. Then for the changes that I think I want to solve, I think one of the greatest challenges I want to help it's to ensure that AI actually delivers tangible benefits for almost every sector in Eswatini rather than just remaining an emerging technology. For people who may not know is that AI has been here for decades. It's been talked about for decades. It has had many various versions of transformation, so it can't always remain as an emerging technology. So the thing that I want to do is to be able to develop and foster an ecosystem whereby researchers, entrepreneurs, industry, government, and other communities which are not dealing with tech to come together and develop solutions that can improve whether it's healthcare, food security, create jobs, and then support local and other initiatives. But I think then the other part which is there, I think I want to solve it's the issue of trust. It's to build a community which is bounded by trust. Therefore, it can have partnerships and it can have collaborations, etc., etc. So yeah, I think that is it. Then as for whom would I love to be remembered of? Actually, I wouldn't love a person to remember me. I think I would just love a person to remember the jobs that I did. I don't think I would love for a person to even know as to that there was just Sam there, but I would love for a person that whenever they see my work and they say that, this person was really thoughtful and this person really made impact not only for himself but for generations to come. I think I'd just love to be a ghost. Joking. Thank you.
Thank you, Samkelo. So the reason why I asked you these three questions, and I think the reason why Robert asked me to ask these three questions was that it shapes your skeleton for your community. So you know what you bring, you know what you can give your community, you know what community challenge you want to solve, and you are working towards something tangible. So what do you want to be remembered for? So personally, professionally, community-wise, it's everything. All of this caters to your personal, professional, and community goals, which is why I asked those 3 questions. So I think something to remember, and I think Robert would agree with me, the best ambassadors are remembered because someone's career, confidence, or opportunity changed because they showed up. So just be an ambassador that shows up. If you showed up, then you did your job. And that's the most important thing. Thank you.